All right. Yeah. Okay, so today I'm honored. This is a personal favorite of mine, Mr. Mike Menchaca, newly ordained deacon, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how's it been? How did that take part? Was it something that you always thought about? Did you see yourself in ministry growing up? Do you got ministers or people in your family that's part of ministry?
Man, none of that. None of
Really?
that, bro. Like I never saw myself being like, I guess, given a title per se in a church. Like it was just the church had, oh, I guess how that came about. I mean, the church I'm at now, Newburgh in Columbus. I just had like my current pastor, Yavis Ellis, kind of tap me and the wife, like when the tap on the shoulder process, like, hey, what y'all think about, being deacons at the church? And he kind of pulled one on us door. I'm like, man, what I'm saying, we hear some information on it. Like, yeah, all right. He's like, all right, we'll just come to this meeting. We're just gonna just share some information with y'all. We get to the meeting, it's full-fledged deacon class. Like you get in there, they got
Yeah.
binders and sign this, sign that, as far as information to contact us or whatever. But like I said, it was never something that we pursued, never something that we thought we would be doing. It was just us being in the church and coming from them, like, just asking them what made them seek us out to do it. Because at our church, and I'm sure at most churches, you have to be sought out to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? But they was like, nah, really, it's just we watch y'all from afar and just y'all being y'all. You're like, y'all serve in different ways in the church. And never really, ask for nothing in the process. Y'all just do it if somebody asks y'all to do it, or just little stuff y'all do on the side when y'all think nobody ain't watching. We just saw the ministry in y'all with y'all marriage and with y'all family. So we just felt like it'd be a good fit for y'all. But my own personal family, no, I don't got nobody I can say. I mean, growing up, we wasn't like faithful church goers, maybe holidays, and I mean, and my mom, we was in and out the church here and there, but I knew what church looked like, but not to this extent. I just went because my mom would say, let's go every now and then. And that's when we was going in Toledo. It was St. Mark's Baptist Church right there on, is Dorn, I want to say Fernwood. Reverend I.J. Johnson, he was a little older, but I just remember them days a little bit. And I mean, I didn't know too much going on, but like I said, we wasn't there a lot of those holidays. But here we are, man.
What was some of the early signs of God that you seen growing up and even faith?
So, like looking back on it though, like I didn't recognize then because I didn't have that eye, you know what I'm saying, spiritually. But looking back on it, like one of my grandma, Sophia Menchaca, rest in peace. My dad's mom.
Peace.
She used to always pray over us before we went to bed whenever we stayed the night over there. And, she was full blood Mexican, you know what I'm saying? And she would pray in Spanish. So we never knew what she was saying growing up, you know what I'm saying? But that's just one thing looking back. I always saw that with her, no matter how many days we stay over there, she praying over before we go to bed. And I mean, too, look at, like I said, my mom too, she, with her us being in and out, but at times, she was in the choir, so just seeing her, looking back, like I didn't realize it then, but seeing her serve to that capacity. And then just talking to my granny and my grandmama and them as I got older, like just hearing some of the stories and the churches they went to, I never witnessed it as a youngin', but looking back on it, like it made me realize the different seeds that was sown without me knowing, and the different prayers that was said for me at the time too.
Yeah. And I when you said that about people just seeing your life, y'all as being great sons and great stewards in the church doing that. And I even seen that afar. And I know I always tell you and I tell other people because it's part of my testimony when, I decided to go full-fledged, like growing up, being in church, but being lukewarm, still trying to be cool, trying to fit in, trying to see where it worked, then being a part of the world and then still going to church, but seeing that, you can be young, you can be a man, you can have a family and still go after God and still be cool, still be popular and still, be accepted. Like I seen you was already making good music, worldly music. Then you switched over and went to the Christian hip hop. So, when I seen that, I'm like, hold on, it's a transition. I can just tell with the transition, listening to your music, listening to the words, not just saying, oh, I'm gonna do that because I'm a rep, that's my dude and all that. Really, really listening like to the songs. I went back again because I knew it was it was you was ministering or you was talking. It was a couple of them, but the one you had on red. This is how I always can be able to spot
Yeah, I think I had this
the
hat on.
sermon.
Matter of fact, I had this
Oh,
hat on in there. I know what you're talking about.
okay.
Yeah.
Say to God be the glory. So you were speaking on obedience. So when I was thinking about us meeting again, I remember it was something in that you were saying. So when you went in there, you was talking about obedience, and you was talking about what obedience, when you are obedience, and the consequences of not being obedience. So you was talking about that, and it resonated because even with us going into ministry, that's being obedient, because God had to give us a yes. It was up to us to say yes. So just think, if we didn't say yes to being a minister, or yes to being a deacon, or yes to following God, what the consequences was. And you was like, when you said like, man, what if Noah and them wasn't obedient, didn't build that ark? How the whole world shaped just because he was obedient in that. So I had to go back and listen to that just the other day while I was at work, because I remembered that was. So then that's when I had reached out to you, like, man, I see what you're doing, and like I'm on that, man. Like I'm trying to do the same thing, because you had the family too. Like, and it wasn't like you was just doing it for games and playing, and you could just see your light. How God say, always let your light shine, and your light was shining, and I was shining even much more. So now that you in the ministry, how does that affect you? Because you're coaching now, right? Coaching again. So how does that affect you with your coaching, your ministry, and with coaching?
Man, you're gonna make me go back and watch that sermon. I know some stuff I need to hear myself now, though. You're gonna make me go back and watch it for real.
Bro,
I know
it was
now.
so good. It was so
I gotta
good.
go back and check that. I gotta go back and find that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about that one. But now how it affect me now, just leading up to this point. I even like, because when you were just talking about that, it took me back to what, like, it was a different season. Like it was nervous. I was nervous about it, because what I'm saying, people know you to be one person, and you're talking about being this other person, but you're still trying to transition. So, and to the world and to the natural eye, they see you going through your season of adversity of trying to transition. They hear what you're saying, but you still, some of the decisions, some of the things you say may not look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it may not come up as godly, or it may not display the right behaviors, but like, you one of them. But it was a lot of people I had who encouraged me in that season and them walks, like when I was transitioning over, from people who I was, you know what I'm saying, getting out the mud with, doing everything with, like, they was really encouraging me, like, yeah, bro, keep doing that, bro, because we see you. So, you know what I'm saying? It let us know that we could go that route too if we want, and we can get the game from you and see how it goes. And it's crazy, because our church we at, like, we found down here, it was, I don't know if Asante, remember Asante, played
Yeah,
that start
yeah.
football?
Yep,
Him and
yep,
his
yep.
wife, they was
Yeah.
living here, going to that church. And
Oh,
we know them, but my wife and his wife, Jasmine, they was cool, you know what I'm saying? I knew Jasmine since she was younger too, because she was cool with my cousin Carpenter, but they invited us to that church just to come, you know what I'm saying? So we was going, and when we first was going, I'm like, this one I didn't know too much about. I really didn't want to come hear no music. I'm like, man, come here preaching. I don't really want to hear all the fellowship and all the worship. I'm like, I'm cool. And there was days I still was coming in there hungover from the night before, head throbbing, probably still smelling like liquor. But I'm in there like, and I
yeah,
give kudos to my wife too, because once we started going, she wasn't letting up. She's like, all right, come on, we're gonna go. Like, and at that time, we wasn't even married. We was just boyfriend, girlfriend, trying to figure out what we want to do. And
yeah,
I was in there wrong, bad, just showing up super late, hearing a little bit, all right, go back. But fast forward to what your question was about how it affect me now, and like with coaching, and even just at work, like it come out at times when I least expect it, for real. Like when I'm talking to people, because people see it on you. When it's on you, they see it on you. You know what I'm saying? And they'll ask you, like, and you'll be surprised, like, what made you ask me that? Like, just how you carry yourself, and you know what I'm saying, how you talk about your family, how you talk about your wife, like where all this come from, type. And even
yeah,
with my other coaches on the staff, like Coach Bates, Ant Miller, Sean Coleman, Kenny Lee, Javon Walker, there's a couple other ones too. Like when they encourage me too, even in that right now, even when the Deacon stuff came up, they like, that's what's up, man. Yeah, bro, that's good stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? But with the players, it's different, because these kids are a little different. You still gotta be stern, but also still be able to give them grace, like that you still want yourself nowadays. Like,
yeah,
and culture, it was just so perfect for me. You know where we came from, going Nathan Hale, all that. Like, I fit so good in with them because I know that culture. So
yeah,
talking to them different though, and not just being how how we was talked to. Like, you can't just talk at everybody like that. You got to be able to talk to them the right way so you can hear them, meet them where they at, but also at the same time, give them directions on to go the right direction, even if it ain't gonna be right now. At least speak where it resonates sometime in their life. Like, you know what coach was saying, and I get it now. You know what I'm saying? So it helped me. It molded me to be better in all areas for real. Just how I deal with others and how to meet everybody where they at, and hope they meet me where I'm at. Because everybody not talking about, you know, Jesus and God, and everybody don't want to hear that. But even the people that don't want to hear it, they respect it enough when they dealing with me to meet me where I'm at and just be cordial. You know what I'm saying?
So have you had it to where people are saying, well, I can't be around him because, you know, he saved, or he in the ministry now. I got to watch, you know, the little slick dissing. I had to go through with that, you know, even when I got ordained to be a youth minister. You know, people just making comments, but knowing that we're not doing it for them, knowing that, like you said, people be able to be aware, like, man, there's something about you, or they ask you questions, or you be able to bring them to Christ. So when you said something about being able to relate, I feel like we have the advantage to be able to go back into the inner cities or the youth that in Columbus, Toledo, Atlanta, like wherever they at, we can, you know, resonate with them because we come from where they come from. Even if our struggle ain't the same, but we can identify. And even I know, you know, a lot of people that you talk to back home, sometimes you hit them up, check on them, or just be there for them, or just pray for them, and they be really needing that, and they let you know, like, man, bro, I really need that, or I'm going through something. They might inbox you or something. Like, what do you think it's going to take for us to be able to have, like, the young men stand up in a spot, stand up in a place, and be able to just, you know, come to God and just have a relationship, or even form it, for they can change? Because all the killing and stuff that's going on right now, like, what do you feel like it'll take for that, for they can stand up in a proper place?
That's a big one, man. And that's one of the hardest things to do, because there's so much of it. It feel like the ratio is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Them to us, like, it's just crazy. But I mean, really, the first and foremost is just continue to be an example. Like, people watch more than they listen nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They hear you, but they ain't listening, but they see you. And like, just even like you said, because you kind of start off with how was it dealing with people who were like, oh, I can't be around him because he's saved. Like, it really, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I never really dealt with that. Like, nobody never vocally said it around me when I was there. They might say something, like when I come around, like it'd be, in which at first I'm like, man, be all. At first they were like, somebody has to be cussing around me or something. They be like, oh, my bad, Chuck. I'm like, man, hey, nigga, I ain't God, bro. Like, hey, I respect you seeing that on me, and I appreciate it, but I mean, you know, do you? Like, I ain't tripping about that. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's who you is. And hey, but I appreciate it. At first I was like, man, but then not going back, like, oh, they saw it on you. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level of respect, like, which I can appreciate. But I'm like, depending on where we at and what's going on, you might hear me cut up like that. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what the mood and the vibe is, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I cut up if it go to that level with somebody just because they pressing me that hard. Like, all right, bro, this is what you really want to hear. All right, so this is how we gonna talk. This is the only way you gonna understand me. Afterwards, we could break bread, we could pray, but it might go there. You know what I'm saying? And it'll never stop. And I'm sure you can agree. Like, it'll take you there, depending on what day you having, how you feeling, what's built up to it, what you ain't got off your chest. If you ain't been praying, you ain't been reading, you gonna get all off your chest right on the spot.
Because we all fall short of the glory of God, and we not perfect. And that's what I be wanting people to know. In this walk, man, you ain't got to be perfect. God knows your heart, but you got to stay to him. You got to stay close, draw near to him. And whatever is in the word, you got to work that word daily. Like, a lot of people be thinking that it's a lot of hard stuff that you got to do to be saved. They be thinking like it's science. It ain't no rocket science. It's just an everyday walk, because you're going to be able to have that relationship with God. Like, I tell people, they be like, well, how can I start having a relationship? I say, okay, we're going to take it here. When you meet a girl, what do? You consistent. You call her. You hit her up multiple times. That's how you got to form your relationship with God, because if you don't form no relationship, you're not going to be able to know nothing. You're not going to be able to hear it. But, you know, even in our walk every day, like you said, when we ain't drawing near to God, we ain't reading like we supposed to or praying, you can feel that void, and you're like, something going on. I ain't right. You know, I need to get closer, you know? So that is too, like, people be thinking they got to go through the hoops and do all this stuff. No, you just got to be able to repent of your sins, ask him in your life, and just, you know, follow him.
Man, that's it, bro. And work together with it because it ain't, you already know how everybody, even us, when we get back before, like it was like, oh, I gotta get right first before I start going to church. Like, man, you ain't gonna never get right before
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna never get yourself right for God. Like, that's the reason you got the fellowship, in churches, and I know it's hard sometimes people to find, churches that welcome them like that. That's really what helped us. Like our church is just, it's so dope for us, bro. And it just fit our mode so good because everybody there is just, they are who they are. It ain't no,
yeah,
faking to it. It's just they are who they are and they receive you as you are. Like our church got so much, like the gap of the age gap is crazy from seasoned saints to little saints, like, and everybody's able to be involved one way in the church. And our pastor, that's what they encourage, like for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
It's our church, you know what I'm saying? It's our church. You said like, man, I'm not gonna be here forever. Y'all gonna have to be doing this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Sooner or later, y'all got to get involved. So y'all got to start now, like.
Hey,
And
that's good that you said it. Not to cut you off. That's good that you say that because so many churches do not grow because they ain't about to get that mic up. I'm gonna pass off and die. Then when that do happen, who the next in line? But like you said, putting people in position that helps the church flourish, that helps everything work because everything's supposed to work and be in order, not just somebody trying to hold up their throne and no, because there's always somebody that's gonna have an anointing that's greater than somebody else's because it ain't no competition. It's about who God gonna be able to use and who gonna be able to spit that word.
Man, on everything, bro. And that's the greatest thing about this deacon thing. Like, it's a title, but they didn't ask me to change nothing I'm doing, bro. They didn't ask me, hey, we need you to start dressing a certain way for this. Man, bro, they like, we picked you because you are who you are. And you might be able to attract somebody that none of us can attract, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, I go to church, it's still me. I'm jerseys, whatever, I'm Jordan now. Our pastor wears Jordans, bro. So it's like be who you are, man, and be who you are in God. And we all work together to make each other better and celebrate each other, man. That's the one thing like that why we love this church and probably why it'd be so hard for us to leave Columbus, bro, because we just got a real community here, man. And it's so much family that I gained through the spirit, man, that just love our family and encourage our family just how you do, bro. We got people down here the same way, bro. They just be tapping in with us, pouring into it like crazy when least expected, man. It'd be so fire, bro. Like I can't even explain it, man.
Let me ask you, how was it being that you were a performer and you was able to perform on stages, but then like I seen a little bit in the things like you had on the black sweater, you had on the patent leather Jordans, you had on the jeans, that slow song, that song go hard too, but I can't never find it. I looked on YouTube and all like that.
I know where it's at. I can get it to you. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the song actually verse. Well, that's when he used to be so versatile before. But
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, that's Verse from Toledo, bro. Yeah, he was in Atlanta.
That's my stepkid's uncle.
Yeah, him, bro. Like it's crazy. Where we both did some music together. Like he down there, he poured it to me a couple different ways too. He check on me every now and then. But that transition, it was crazy. So the very last CD I did with Top Notch and all them, the very last song on there is I'm Saved on there. Like so all the way through the CD, it's everything goes. And I'm like, man, I'm putting this last song on here, bro. But this is where I'm going. This is where I'm transitioning to. And they was looking like, where you tripping? I'm like, nah, man, it's just 100, man. And I remember when I went back to my college at Wilberforce for one of them alumni weekends, and they were like, oh, you got some music, Chuck? You got some music? I'm like, yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, here we go. So giving them all the music or whatever. And then for the reactions. So, I mean, like I said, at that time, I'm still going through my transition. So alumni weekend, we down there kicking it, drinking, doing whatever, ready for parties. You know how that go, pre-gaming. But during the pre-game, they get all the way through to the last song. Right? So it get quiet. Like when we in the car too, chilling, like it get quiet. It's playing. It's up loud. So it get quiet. So I'm just sitting like, all right, what do we want to talk about? It go off. My dude turn around, look at me like, hey, Chuck, this is what he say to me. You a real nigga, bro. Give me that. He's like, man, I don't know too many who would have did it and had a heart to do it, but still beat them while they doing it, bro. He said, I need to hear some of that too. So I need more of this, Chuck. He said, he said, but I need that balance, Chuck. So I need more of this, bro. And man, it encouraged me, bro. Like that transition, it encouraged me, man.
And because it worked, like some people would make something and it'd be cheesy, but your stuff was bar. Like I always say, I remember I'll be leaving little stuff. rhyme with that word. That's spiritual carpooling, you know? You know what I'm saying? Love me now. I got so many blessings. How can I count them? I need two hands. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So like it wasn't never corny. It was you was putting that music, but the right people needed to hear it. So like even performing, like how you was up there telling your testimony, what was the transition for you, like performing in front of the church, then speaking in front of them, and then even ministering? Because you had a couple one that you ministered and that you told your testimony.
It was scary, bro. Like granted, like I said, this ain't my. I had been at the church for long enough to where I knew who they got like the fourth Sundays, young adult Sundays, who chose like who to go up there for music and all that stuff. So I gave it to him and to see what he thought. He liked it. And to this day, one of my closest, my elder Greg Hines, him and his wife, they pour into it so crazy. But I gave it to him. He like, so you when you want to go up? I'm like, you let me know. He gave me a date. Man, I was up there shook. Like, man, I probably been more nervous than any game I ever played in my life. Any football, basketball game compared to the nerves I had, bro. Like it was shaky nerves. Like I'm in the back before I got to do it. I'm sitting in my seat. Like I'm paying attention to the service, but I'm going through like ways to calm myself down, like my breathing, holding my body tight for 15, 20 seconds just to calm down, bro. I'm nervous. I'm like, all right, bro. It is what it is. If they don't like it, you up there for God at the end of the day. Like I had to keep gassing myself up. But then when I did it, the reception of it, like it was just so fire from young, old, like even my spiritual grannies and aunties at the church, man, they was, baby, this, we love that, da, da, da. Where can we find this? I'm so happy for you. And just getting that type of response, bro, just encouraged me even more. Like, but I was nervous. I was shook, bro.
I wouldn't have knew that. That's why I asked you. I knew the spirit was really leading you because that was the one of the time you was talking about being obedient. You like, I knew God told me to get up and say this, so I needed to say it. So I got to be obedient. And I can just tell with your your delivery and what you were saying that God was really using you. But I didn't know all that stuff. Like I know we from Toledo. I know you've been around stuff, but I didn't know you was doing it like that. So when you got up there and said that, they like, we got one of the biggest dope boys in there. Mike moving on pounds. You got the old
Girl,
school. I didn't know it was to that extent. Like you know what I mean? So like you wasn't even ashamed because you ain't supposed to be ashamed that I'm not ashamed of the gospel. You pour everything on. You was being so transparent. And I know they was just like, but that's how God come in. You got to lose yourself so he can, you know what I mean, come in. But I was like,
man, dude, there's a lot of people don't know them stories, man. They be like,
that's what I'm saying. Even that story, you can be able to relate to the people because you know they don't want to put that pack down. They're afraid of what they gonna lose money, but you gonna gain so much in life and in other things and blessings and favors. Because like even with you, I know that was hard. I know what you was running through. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you feel me? Like, man, bro, it's crazy. So many stories, man. Just stupid stuff, but was thankful God let me just live through it, man. Definitely too many times with my own life on some dumb stuff. Just like me and J-Rock, we lived together after college, first year and a half for real. Like, man, Rock was doing some crazy stuff, man. Just not want to ask our parents for money when you in school. So led to dumb stuff. So then I remember me and him lived together. Then Stink Bomb.
Yeah.
Stink ended up coming down there too. Like so, Stink lived with us too. It was me, J-Rock, and Stink, bro, on some stupid stuff, selling dummies, man, down there selling fake crack, bro. Like, it was crazy, bro. Really down there selling fake crack. Could get killed or anything by one of these fiends, bro. We down there slinging fake crack to try to make money, bro. And then, man, it was just so many stories, bro. I got people like, man, nah, you kept it, bro. That ain't what you was doing. It was just me at the time, like always, like I had put up a post not too long ago, like I never glorified it all the way like that just out loud because I had family who I didn't want to disappoint. Like, and I had little brothers and little cousins and all that. Like, I didn't want, and I know he looked at me a certain way, so I just didn't want to steer them the wrong way. But yeah, crazy, bro.
But that's part of your testimony now. So, like God, he getting all the glory from that. Cause even like when you was ministering about that situation led to elevation, now that elevation it led to another one. So you keep on moving up and you ain't went back. So that's what the beauty of everything is. But like the people really need to understand and know that it don't matter where you come from. You could be called by God. You can be, because he goes after the unqualified, the undeserving, the least fortunate ones. You know what I mean? And we can't be ashamed. Like I used to be like, man, I got multiple baby mamas, I got kids and all this and that. But that's part of my testimony because that's pushing me and keeping me closer to God, even though you dealing with all the extra stuff or you dealing with the how it looks. Because if I can't be ashamed of God, because if God helped me and he got me through this, then I can give him glory to help somebody else and be able to help me do what I need to do.
Flat out, bro. You ain't lying. Yeah. Man, salute to you too. Yeah, I know you've been through the trenches with some stuff and there's different stories you would share that, like you said, somebody gonna relate to it. Like, man, I'm in that right now. Like, I needed to hear that. Like, I'm in that right now. He's talking about my life right now. Like, and you know who it is and who you. And I'm sure you don't probably have people too. Like, just reach out on some. They never say anything else. They might not like a post, love a post, share a post, but you might get a message and just be like, hey, bro, I'll be watching you, man. Like, seeing what you're doing, bro. Keep doing it. Like, I appreciate it. Like, I be need to see that type of stuff.
Yeah. And then being married now, you know, our marriage is our ministry. Like it feel good to be married to somebody that loves God like I do. So I ain't got to be the one pulling them in. My problem was I'm always trying to go get the fast ones and try to bring them to church. They really ain't known it, you know, and even like our story, we both married now, but just being popular, having multiple girls, but seeing how we can have a family and be serious with God and faithful. Like that's a testimony in itself because the flesh is something else, you know, and a lot of people need to understand that as well too. You can be married, you can be faithful, you ain't got to be all that extra, you know, you can put that to the side, you know. So that's the thing too. Your marriage is your ministry. Your ministry flourishes. Like I said, everybody can see it. They can see the joy. They can see the favor. He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing, you know, and that's what's happening. Like I seen all that, bro. I remember when I messaged you, I was working. I was in front of the government building downtown, getting my group, and I was just thinking about like, man, how is this about to look, man? I got to change my life, bro. And God put you on my heart, man. So like, it's always going to be that, you know, and I'm always going to be here for you. Anything I could do, you know, and everything.
Bro. You've always been a big supporter. Like just anytime, like randomly, you'll pop up like, yeah, bro, Like it just, matter of fact, I had to put this on too. I'm like, you said it, bro. I said, it's only right, bro. I had to put this on. My thought to me that God is good. God is good with the go. And I'm like, oh, you said, don't send me two of these boys, man. So, and you're right, bro. Like it like, I gotta give you credit on that too, because I done had to go through that part as far as the trying to bring a woman to church. You know what I'm saying? We came together, which was dope for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? We both was able to kind of go through that and grow together. And cause I can't even imagine being single, you know what I'm saying? Seeing something you like, and then like, oh, I get them to be on that wave with you because you're trying to live right and they not on it. And it's easy to go just be you know, fall victim. You know what I'm saying? So
and even with your wife, even with sis, she's about to be elevated too because that mantle y'all got over y'all now. So she's gonna be able to reach back and be able to pull women in, even help a lot of those girls from back home who's struggling to go through something. I know it's personal. Tierra Armstrong. Yeah. Got a great thing she's doing with, you know, the women and doing the groups and doing the life coaching and doing the sessions where she's ministering to a lot of people, be leaving posts and they, you know, they see how God is helping them with that. And that's great, man. I love that because they need that, man. We talk about how these women doing all this and that, but who pouring into them? Who trying to bring God? Who trying to help them see that it's a different way, man?
No, she was shape. My wife was in. She did a couple of them sessions with Tierra. She got a lot out of it, bro. Like she definitely got what she needed from it, bro. And like, you know, so and then she kind of stepped away just on some isolation because Tierra and them poured into her a lot. The group of the sisters they had poured into her a lot, you know, and then she stepped away to get more isolation. Yeah. I mean, like my wife, bro, like I'm keeping a buck with you. Like right now, like she in a different season of pushing herself out of her comfort zone. Like, man, my wife be up every day bright and early, bro, reading her word.
Amen. Yeah.
Bro, praying, got her own prayer closet, bro. Like her, a couple other sisters she got, like Kamika, you know, Kamika, you know, that's our sister for real. Like Kamika be when she one of them ones too, like when there be some stuff going on, she just come out the blue.
Hey,
You know,
I was
she's
gonna wait till you
powerful,
get
bro.
done talking, bro. She held me out, bro. She had me in tears, helping me with a situation I was going through with my kids, and I'm sitting up here beating myself up, knowing God telling me be still and know I'm God. Man, she left me a message, and I was like, oh my God, she got my front door, like, you know what I mean? Cause she close to the word, and she's serious about that too, man. And I know she love y'all. She always talk about y'all.
Yeah, always, bro. Like she always showed love. Like, cause I Toledo wise, I knew her, but I didn't know her. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, she was at Scott. She's a little couple years before me. So like, I just knew her, but I didn't know her. But then when she started, they came down here and they started coming to church. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, what's good, Toledo? Da, da. And then she was real cool. One of my dudes who I'm real locked in with down here now. One of my daughter's goddads. So him talking to her, then us talking more, got closer. Then you know, and she liked that though. Like my wife, man, her and my wife locked in, bro. Like
Yeah,
something
salute
crazy.
her too. Engagement, you know, God be with them. And that's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah. He a solid dude. He a
yeah,
solid dude too. Solid dude.
so
Yeah,
man.
man. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
real.
know the moment in that church boy was like, oh, when he got that mic, I was like, okay, say it. Is he about to say, oh?
Right. No, it was real though. He did it though. He alerted all her close people. You know, Shay being one of them. Like, hey, this was going on. So a lot of people played their part in it, but it was just dope to see it all come together and you know them trying to go about it certain ways. Even now, like growing to that point, like they just man, solid man. They walk is crazy right now. Like
And I
they
used
test,
to,
they
be
test.
happy. Like, it's cool when you got a friend that you've been knowing and they save and live in life. So you ain't got to be like, yeah, you know, my friend such and such. So when I married, I always could talk about Mike and Shay. You know, y'all living for God and y'all serious. What's up, man?
Say hi,
Where your ball at? Where your
man.
ball?
Dude, we running around here doing everything. He like watching a little Kobe animation thing they got on one of them things Kobe got. All right, man, come on. Where you going?
But yeah, man. But you know, that's dope, man.
Man, bro.
How
Man,
your baby girl doing? She still hooping?
she's still hooping, but we ain't got into it too much later. But we about to get back into it because it's cheer season now. You know, she cheered last year, but she said she don't want to cheer this year. I'm like, so you want to practice basketball more? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So when we drop your sister up at cheer, then we going to the gym, and you know that's what it's going to be. So me and her about to lock in a little bit more, and then like Nashawn Coleman, like his daughter, he got a daughter that's 12. She in the 6th grade. I think she about to go to 7. Like she good, bro. Like so they be working out a lot at the gym too. So he like, hey, yeah, y'all just come through, bro. Like just come through, get some of this work. He said, just have her in the gym. So it's really just keeping her around the game right now to show her different things. Like even the girls coach for Afrocentric, you know, they just won the state this past year. But that's my sis though. She went to my college with me, Wilberforce. Like, so me and her been locked in since back then. Like, that's my sis, like for real. Like, she was like, oh yeah, Chalk, just bring her to the gym. You already know I got her. Just bring her to the gym, Chalk. She good. Don't even worry about it. So it's dope to have them type of relationships with people who want to see your kid thrive and
And
all
see,
that.
I got another interview that's gonna drop too. I did an interview with Taria's sister Blanchard.
Oh
Tori
yeah,
Blanchard got that
yeah.
league. So we just did an interview about her league and her starting the league, and she talking about what's missing. And that's what's missing, people not being able to help the young girls. Like she said, she tried to go to Steve Mix and get into a league, and they said they don't do basketball no more. They all volleyball.
That's crazy.
But
The Mick used to have leagues, bro. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that's why I said, like, man, this stuff is changing in this world. It's changing. The hoops is just all construction. It ain't nothing out there. So that's what made her gravitate for that and, you know, be able to open the league for, you know, the young girls that ain't got none. The people that's way out, they don't want to bring their teams in or, you know, it's like every man for themselves as far as for the women's side. But boys, you can get run all day.
All
So
day. You're right.
was your son, was you praying for your son, or you just like, you didn't never care what you had because of your
What you think, man? What you think? Come on, dog. I was praying for a boy out the gate. I mean, but no, let me say this. At first, yeah, I was like that. But then we had, you know, multiple miscarriages before we had our first one. You know, so then when it got to a point like, hey guys, we just want this baby. Like, just let us get this baby, bro. That was that season. I promise you, I never locked in like that ever when I was in them seasons and when we was going through miscarriages, bro. Like I was praying like no other. I was reading like no other. There was times where we'd be at doctor's visits. The doctor, before they even come in, I'm on the floor praying. The doctor hit me with the dope. I'm on the floor praying face down, like before whatever news he got, bro. It was a different level to it. So then we got the first one. Okay, all right, yeah, for sure. Then the second one, I just knew like, oh, this gonna be a boy. Hit me with another girl. Then this third one, I'm like, hey man, we're gonna shoot one more time. Like whatever it is, boy or girl, we done. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then
Y'all done after him?
Yeah, we through. We through.
Yeah, hey, when you just said you was praying on your face before the door came in, Yavis verse just came to my head. How he said, "Be on my face when it's about my father's business."
Yep. Flat out.
Yeah, man, it is. Yeah, man, but that's good, man. I'm gonna let you get back and enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you. I love you, bro, man. Keep growing. You know, we always gonna be connected. I gotta still come down there, man.
Yeah, this was good, bro. We need to just really link one day and just sit down, chop it up, and talk.
Yeah. When you gonna get the minister, I'm definitely coming down there.
I don't know. Like, you know, they tell you like, hey man, just make sure you they say keep a pocket sermon ready because you never know when we gonna call on you. Like 3 weeks ago, probably like, this was before I got ordained. Like one of my dudes hit me like, hey, you on your way to the church? I'm like, yeah, well, what's up? He like, all right, well, we need you to do like praying for offering and, you know, a couple other things. I'm like, ushering in the spirit verse. I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, all right, I didn't plan on this, but here we go. And I didn't really have a lot of words though. Like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't say too much, but the spirit got heavy and then it just came out. And you know, I'm thinking like, oh man, I ain't say I could have said X, Y, and Z, yada yada yada. Then people was like, no, bro, we enjoyed you. Like, you could just tell, like, we want to see genuine worship, and that's what it was. But we just got to sit down.
So it's ministering worship than let's say down by 1, 2 free throws. You getting boxing one. Y'all need a bucket to score.
Man, I'd rather do that. That's I consider that easier. That'll be easier. I got the mindset IQ for that already. Like, all right, you know, I can make a move here and there depending on how they've been playing. Me get somebody jump. All right, let me get these easy free throws. Free throw line, these cash, so I ain't worried about that. But ministering is different. It's definitely different because the spirit could kick in and take you a whole different route than what you was on, and it just kick in and it get heavy. You be up there like just on something different, like.
Yeah. Man. What made you never leave Bowser and just stay committed? Because you loyal? Because I know
that's funny you asked that.
Wanted to, man.
No, let me tell you, that's funny you say that, bro, because I actually paperwork was in. I was transferred to go to Rogers, bro.
For real?
Before Drew died. Because that summer before all that happened with Drew, before he died, bro, we was linking up, kicking in a little bit here and there, talking a lot, and then, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I can go there, you know what I'm saying? Do that. Me and Drew, football, that'll help me out with football, what I'm trying to do. Hoop squad, all right, bet. Lock it in. Me and Drew locked in. And he passed away. I pulled my papers out like, nah. Then it was, you know, Jason Justin was at Scott.
Yeah.
Coach EB, you know what I'm saying? He be talking about that Menchaca boy. Like, so, I mean, ultimately, then when that was happening, my coach at the time, Coach Mal, he got the word and stuff. He like, what's going on, man? You know, I'm like, this is going on, Coach. I don't know what this is gonna look like from you over here right now. I don't want to just be playing, da da da. And I ended up staying ultimately because Coach Mal, he put in a lot of work with me. Like he definitely was like locked in with me my whole development. So it's funny though, when I was still like going to Scott, so like that summer when Scott going through conditioning for football, I see all of them. I'm walking up to Scott to get my schedule. They like, oh, you going here now? Oh, we about to be super sweet. I'm like, man, I'm going here, but I ain't going here. Like, I ain't playing here. They're like, what you mean? But there's so many, I always get that question, like, do you regret not transferring? Like, of course, I wish I could have seen what it looked like with somebody else. And we would have probably been more successful basketball-wise as a team. But at the same time, it still helped me learn a lot about just putting in a certain type of work ethic and being able to just see the game different, but helping me translate that to life on how you got to just move when everything against you. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot in that whole season about, man, just grace with my teammates for real, but also just putting in crazy work. I was in the gym like crazy.
It showed 25.5. It showed.
I was in the gym crazy. I was a machine, bro. Ask Rodnell Ison, bro. He'll tell you, because I used to pick him up his junior year, like, what up? What we doing? Man, we going to the Y, and then we doing full workouts, weightlifting. 1,000 shots. After that, we in the pool for an hour. Like, man, bro, let's get to it. Like that type stuff.
And your offense was never forced. You know how somebody that score a lot is forced, like yours was in rhythm, in offense. You know,
I had to
getting and
learn
catching.
that. Man, I had
It
to
wasn't
learn
never
that though.
forced.
I had to learn that like crazy. I mean, that's what Coach Mal came in. I ain't gonna lie. He gave me a different IQ when it came to like being able to read defenses a certain way. Screens, ball screens, you know what I'm saying? Screen away. Like he's taught me how to maneuver in an offense to my favor, whether I had the ball in my hand or not. And that showed me a lot about the game period that I might not have got if I went somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? His coaching IQ was crazy with me. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, man. I love you, bro, man. I'll be in touch with y'all. Have a good evening.
All right, man. Love you too, bro. Have a good one. We talk.
Okay.
All right.